Good morning and welcome to our live feed. I don't know if LinkedIn will allow me to do this. I'm going to try. My previous channel has been taken away from me. My previous profile has been blocked because once again in my life I can't prove that I am me. I get too much done and it doesn't make sense or whatever else that I freak out or scare the system, which is now called the algorithm, in trying to find my identity, in trying to find my profile, me being David Goldstein. I realize that there are so many David Goldsteins, it's almost like a John Doe. It's almost like this is done on purpose to create a deep fake of myself. Because every single thing I would want to take credit for in my own life, there's a more famous one, David Goldstein that's doing exactly that. I quite literally am jealous of all the profiles of the other David Goldsteins, because they've managed to at least identify and quantify and explain and express things I don't have time to explain and express. This cat is acting really strange today. It won't let go of my feet or my legs. It doesn't like the physical the approach, and if it gets scared, it attacks my legs. I'm already bleeding from my right foot because it's skittish. I don't know how to get it away from my feet. So there's something unique about these cats, and you'd have to follow a little bit more to find out. But this is our example of what we mean by all lives matter. This is an example of what we mean by urban wild. This is an example of what we mean by an abundance mentality, about all the things we talk about. Of course, on this profile, it's very fresh, although it's an old profile that's somehow been resurrected through whatever algorithm through LinkedIn. When I signed in, it gave me this empty profile from the past as opposed to the active one that LinkedIn has been begging me to do more work with. And when it asked me to do a live chat, since then it blocked me off because the response to the live chat I wanted to do was too great. Par for the course. So these cats represent, and everything we're doing here in this abandoned space, in this wasteland, represents PCRMI, People's Committee for Responsible Management in Israel and internationally. I say that because it applies to everywhere but in the United States. In the United States, the mentality there has become so corrupted by the brainwashing and by the chemical addiction and the freedom addiction that people have, that they want the freedom to cause themselves harm. And that's a right that people want, and to cause others harm. It's beyond logic and reason. It's already to the point of insanity. We're understanding the pleasure trap and the ego trap, and how it's impossible to be free of addiction if you're not living in a blue zone on a whole food plant-based lifestyle. Any other place, you're addicted to the soma of the brave new world called the standard American diet, and that's very sad. Every pun intended. So these videos and our real life experience, whether it's been in northern Ukraine, before, during, and after the war, before, during, and after Glasnost, whether it's been in northern Canada with indigenous communities and other homeless or other neglected communities, whether it's been in Israel, in the desert, in Palestine, or 116 countries that representatives of ours go to try to help people and bring world peace, that's led to the Abraham Accords and the beginning of world peace. Stop scratching my foot, thank you. So we know that what we're saying works. We know that the masses want it. When I say the masses, I'm not talking about 50.001%. I'm talking about at least 99.999% of world population. Whether they're voters or not voters, whether they can vote or can't vote, whether they have a voice or not, no matter how you slice it and dice it, if you would actually get a chance to explain what we have to offer to anyone and everyone, 99.999% of our response has been positive. Why do I use that number, and how can I prove it or back it up? Ask me in an open forum where you can't BS and I can't BS, where nothing can be fudged. It's not a Shark Tank, and it's not a Dragon's Den or a Lion's Den. It's very simply the truth. We're inviting anyone and everyone who wants to just hear and understand. And if it's not you, you're actually part of the problem. The algorithm, the fear of AI taking over, is at such where if we're living in a world where that's stupid, of course AI is going to take you out. Just look at Corona. Yeah, stop and think about that. Just look at Corona and what it did to the world. So I don't want to say anymore because I need this video to get out. And thanks to the cold and a few other things and my age, I have to go relieve myself. Yes, the cold means that I have to do number one, but since I am not a wild animal, it's against the law. If I was a wild animal, I could actually take care of what I need and carry on. But this is still illegal, even in this garbage dump where I'm standing. So I don't know what. Oh, a big dog came and scared some of the cats away. Hello, doggy. I'm not so thrilled about that, but of course I'm not the one to let that dog go. I don't know who did. Hopefully they're going to catch him and take care of him. But this is urban wild. This is what happens in a scarcity mentality, even in the center of an abundance mentality. Just because people think that they have the right to harm others. On that happy note, I'm going to be moving right along because we have to do more.